Hey guys, so in this tutorial we're going to be talking about the main foundation of what's going to make a chatbot tick, and that is flows. So inside flows, once you come to your bot and come to the bot dashboard, you'll see the flow section. Let's just go in and add a flow right here. We will name this flow, what month is it? We won't add any tags, we'll just add a very simple text component. And hit save. Cool. You're gonna copy this, go to Messenger, type it in, and as you can see, we have the month coming up. So, so let's have a bit of personalization to it. You can go in and add your first name. From this hash button right here, you'll see all the available attributes that you can use to personalize the outgoing messages. So let's save this. Done. Ask again. As you can see, my first name pops up. So now let's add a call to action to our button. Let's make the button change the title, make it say demo. A standard button type basically just gives a simple text. This bot is really going to think I don't know how to check a calendar, but here you go. So the button pops up right here. You can add a maximum of 3 buttons to your texts. So, and as you can see, it says this gives me the basic response. Now, if you want, you can customize that basic response as well. The same configuration is also available here. Now, I can change this to web view as well. I'm gonna change this to full. Hit save. Cool. As you can see, if I click the button right now, it's going to open up that web page that I had configured over here. Now, the web pages have to be HTTPS enabled. This is a messenger side rule, so please make sure that the web pages you're linking to are HTTPS enabled to avoid any errors from Facebook. Otherwise, the button simply, the web page simply won't load, or your text simply will not be shown when that flow is being triggered. Then we can also have a phone number. I can just add a phone number right here, click save, and this essentially is going to trigger your call app, whichever device you're on. Since I'm on my desktop, it's not going to be very user friendly. It's just going to trigger my laptop's Skype. But if you're on your phone, it's basically directly going to open your phone calling application. That's the phone button type. There are other button types depending on the integration. If you just click share, this is just basically just going to be a share button, and you can share the template from the chatbot with other people you have connected with on Messenger. It's going to show you the share template. Just a second while that loads. And the buttons can also have the talk to human feature. Now, the talk to human agent basically is that prompts the user to trigger a conversation with a human agent. And if I click this button, It basically doesn't do anything. It just notifies an agent on the back end to and sends this message right here. Sometimes there are two messages being sent out. This is due to irregularity with how Facebook communicates with our backend. But ultimately, the user gets the feedback that their message is now going to be handled by an actual human being. Now, these are some of the more advanced options. Trigger another flow. So essentially, when you have this option selected, you can, on clicking this button, you can choose to trigger another flow that you have created. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So one thing you'll see right now is that the bot is not responding. The bot is not responding because my message has been sent to my inbox and I have not transferred it back to the human agent. So what I have to do is I have to go to the inbox. As you can see, I'm right here in this conversation. To mark this conversation as done, and then I automatically get transferred back to the bot. And I have to, now if I type this question again, as you can see, the response now comes up, and this is going to trigger another flow. So when I click the button, there you go. It just shows me that flow that I have configured over here. Cool. So trigger another intent flow is a more advanced type of flows that I'll not cover in this tutorial. It's a feature that is still under development. But yeah, I mean, this is how you can make use of buttons. Now, next we will be covering actions. Now, actions are basically extensions of what happens when you click on the button. You have different button types, that's fine, but you can add different sorts of actions to those different button types depending on what you want to achieve. Under actions, you can choose to send an email. So basically, when someone chooses to talk to a live agent, or when someone is clicking on a particular product type and you want to be notified, you can enter your email address, you can enter the type, which is the subject line, and you can enter the email body as well. And the email body can also be customized with the information that you have, so you can pass in different attributes, something we'll be covering later on. You can pass their name and send an email. You can add a tag, remove a tag, unsubscribe that person from your audience. You can add that person to a sequence. You can add an attribute. You can trigger another flow. You can send to Zapier. So I'm just going to show you how the add tag feature works. But in order to do that, I'll just hop on to another flow. I'm just going to go into the do you ship to Nevada flow. So what I've done right here is that every time someone says thanks, I have an action set up right here that says add tag, and I want to add the Nevada shipping tag to Facebook, to this particular audience member. So a couple of things happen. If I now go into my audience module and I search for myself, here I am. I go in, you'll see this tag has been added right here. And at the same time, if I were to look at myself from Messenger, search view. Wait. If I go to done, yeah, there you go. You'll see the Nevada shipping tag being added to my user right here. So that's basically for actions. It's a pretty complex system of actions that you can have. You can configure different actions to sync with your flows, to basically make sure that you're getting notified, you're adding tags, you are automating it by adding them to sequences, and all the other fun stuff. Now, we've just covered very simple features from the flow components. In the next tutorial, we'll be covering the other flow components and what you can do with them. Hope to see you on the follow-up tutorial. Cheers.